Now at 6, the Joplin City Council considers a potential ordinance to prohibit shooter bottles.
Plus, we're tracking strong to possibly severe thunderstorms. I'm going to have those details.
And some Neosho graduates put on their creative thinking caps for a long-standing tradition.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some scattered thunderstorms could be starting to pop up with a chance of severe weather ahead in our western counties. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we do have at least a slight risk of severe weather across southeastern Kansas into the metro area later on tonight. So a good chunk of the region as we go through the overnight hours. Main threat is going to be hail and wind. You can see in our western counties severe thunderstorm watch in effect in Kansas and also in Oklahoma. Also a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. We have one across Greenwood County right now, but you can see they're firing up the little line of cumulus clouds right along a dry line / a little cold front out to our west. And these are mainly moving from southwest to northeast, but eventually will start to push a little bit farther toward the east, especially as we get a little bit later on tonight. But pretty intense storms. These are dropping some big hail. You can see just to the southwest of Yates Center. And we're going to have thunderstorms sticking around over the weekend as well. I'm going to have all those details here in a bit.
See you then. On Monday, the Joplin City Council is going to consider a potential ordinance that aims to prohibit the sale of alcohol in what are called shooter bottles. KOAM's Shagun Bamadeli has more.
According to the City Council's bill, shooters are easier to conceal and disproportionately contribute to the violation of city code. These shooter bottles are commonly used for selling alcohol in quantities of 100 millimeters or less.
Or whatever decision they make, that's going to help solve the issue of not just the trash these bottles create, but the overall communal impact of what it does for our mental health in our region.
John Buck is the co-founder of IS Society, a non-profit organization that helps clean the city of Joplin. He says he is in favor of a ban, even when some disapprove of the ban.
We clean up every Sunday morning. We start at 7:30 a.m. and clean up for 5.5 miles in Joplin. And every week we're picking up the same type of trash every week, and the most prominent are these shooter bottles.
The city has bigger problems to deal with than some little 50 ml bottle. What's next? Somebody didn't clean up after their dog at the park, so now we're going to ban anyone from having pets in the park. We're going to ban cars because somebody honked after 10 o'clock. Nobody can drive on the streets. What are we going to ban next?
Lynette Lewis, a manager at Jog's Liquor Store, says the ban will affect city's revenue.
Outside city limits is going to pick up huge in the sales of the 50 ml bottles because people that want those bottles are still going to go get them. They're just going to drive 5 minutes farther to pick it up at another liquor store.
John Buck tells me that his non-profit company, which does local cleanups around the city of Joplin, has picked up over 50,000 shooter bottles in 4 months. Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bamadeli, KOAM News.
Now, Monday's council meeting is going to have the first reading of that ordinance. Since it's not an emergency ordinance, 3 votes at 3 council meetings are required to pass it. A Northeast Oklahoma woman injured in a car crash nearly a week ago died of her injuries today. The single vehicle crash occurred on a rural road northeast of Quapaw, Oklahoma back on May 6th. Investigators said the driver was 81-year-old Amanda Johnson of Commerce, Oklahoma. Her SUV left the road and rolled. Johnson died this morning. A bill that would ban texting while driving in Missouri heads to the governor's desk after clearing the Senate. Missouri is one of only 2 U.S. states without a law that prohibits people over 21 from texting while driving. The bill would require hands-free cell phone use only for drivers of all ages. According to the bill, there would be enhanced penalties for repeat offenders, violations occurring in a work zone when workers are present, violations occurring in a school zone, and violations that result in property damage, personal injury, or death. Freeman Health System in Joplin partners with the Breast Cancer Foundation of the Ozarks to provide free mammograms. It's part of the healthcare provider's Project Pink. The partnership makes it possible for uninsured or underinsured people in the Joplin area to receive a breast health evaluation.
We like to partner with our local health systems to come out and do these events to make it really convenient for someone to come out and get their mammogram done and not have to worry about the cost of that, because we do pick up the cost of the mammogram that they have done here today.
Project Pink was at the Wes and Jan Hauser Women's Pavilion. With the end of the school year, some Pitt State students are packing their bags, heading back home. Some students might have items they'd like to get rid of, but there's a better option than just throwing them out. Jones Heritage Realtors in Pittsburgh asks students to donate their gently used items to help children in need.
The main goal is we want the child to feel like they are loved, because in a foster care situation, when they're being transitioned from one location to another, it's scary. And this is our way of letting that child know they're loved, they're valued, and they're in a safe place.
Some items you can donate are bed linens, mattresses, and bed frames. Still ahead, how Neosho High School graduates express themselves with a long-standing art tradition, plus how a local florist prepares for a busy Mother's Day. Mother's Day is Sunday, don't forget that. And even if you still haven't figured out exactly what to get the most important woman in your life, chances are pretty good that you're going to spend some money, and you are not alone. Americans are spending big for Mother's Day. The most popular gifts, as usual, are flowers and cards. Local nurseries like Pittsburgh's In the Garden have been gearing up for the big weekend. They started growing their massive hanging bouquets in January, specifically for Mother's Day. With so many flowers in bloom, nursery owners hope finding the perfect gift for mom or grandma or your wife can be a one-stop shop.
We grow lots of hanging baskets, so we're still going to have hanging baskets for this weekend and beyond. Our season doesn't just end on Mother's Day. We're open all summer long, so we'll still have stuff. It won't be picked over or anything like that. We have plenty of material for the customer.
Harrison says they stay open normal hours on Mother's Day for those last-minute shoppers. Some kids at Central Elementary in Baxter Springs, Kansas today got some exposure to the job world. The school hosted its Career Day. It's a chance for kids to learn more about jobs that could pique their interest and also speak to some professionals in the industry.
I think it's important that we see real life examples of the people working out around the community that they see every day. A lot of the people that are here, they see farmers in the field, they see Liberty working on our electric lines, and I think it's good to see them up close and see what kind of equipment they use.
Liberty Utilities, local farmers, and the police and fire departments were at that event. Neosho High School seniors today took part in a tradition that dates back to the late 1970s. Every year, right before graduation, the graduating class comes together to paint Hill Street, right next to the high school. Their artwork stays there the entire year until the next class gets to paint over it for their graduation. Officials say it's a great way to let students express their creativity and leave their mark on the school.
I think it's wonderful, and it's neat to see that my daughter is be able to carry on that tradition that I was able to do 30 years ago here.
The students have to submit their designs in advance so school officials can approve them. And while some students in Neosho were feeling artsy, students in Columbus, Kansas were getting artsy in their own creative way. It's a long-standing tradition for graduates to foam the city fountain out at the Cherokee County Courthouse. It's not seen as a bad thing because the school district brought over kids from Park Elementary, as you see, to play in the bubbles. Looks like fun. A little bit later, a Northeast Oklahoma angler makes a monster catch of a lifetime.
Plus thunderstorms, some strong to severe, sticking around tonight. Those details coming up. Well, we had some strong storms that pushed through during the middle of the night last night, and then most of today's been pretty good. Cumulus clouds popping up again. More thunderstorms also increasing, especially in our western counties. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, severe thunderstorm watches in effect, mainly our western counties, so on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, because that's where the storms are now, and they're slowly going to push east. As we go through the overnight hours, you can see severe thunderstorm warnings. Greenwood County, southeastern Kansas. Most of us are dry, but the line of storms really firing up over the past hour or two. Very strong in Elk, up into Greenwood counties. Everybody else looks pretty good, but these are going to continue to develop. So you can see just west of Yates Center, then here's Fredonia, Neodesha, another severe thunderstorm warning, Northern Elk, southern parts of Greenwood County, and then this line is continuing to fill in. So it drops all the way down into northeastern Oklahoma. These guys I really want to watch out near Ponca City, west of Bartlesville, because those are going to drive in a little bit later on tonight as well. But severe weather really stretches. You can see this big upper level low right across parts of Nebraska, so that's what's firing it off. So we have tornado watches in effect, severe thunderstorm watches, Kansas, Oklahoma, and it stretches all the way down to Mexico. So the entire Central Plains getting into the action as we go through the evening hours. Let's go through time. Thunderstorms continue, western counties. Next few hours start to push off toward the east. They are going to weaken by the time they get to the state line of Kansas and also Missouri, but they're still going to pack a pretty good punch. So here's midnight rolling through northeastern Oklahoma and then finally getting into southwest Missouri after midnight. I think after midnight, we're just going to have moderate to strong storms. I don't think we're going to have much in the way of severe weather, but still something we'll keep our eyes on. Temperature is pretty good right now. We're sitting into lower 80s. Outside, here's 7th. Here's range line sitting at 82. South winds at 17. We've had gusts a little bit higher than that. So the storms work through tonight. May start the day with a couple showers, but most of the day looks pretty good. By the noon hour, upper 70s, partly sunny. And once we get into the afternoon, very similar to what we have seen today. Temperatures right around 83, 84, 85 degrees for afternoon highs. Tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms roll in again. We're not going to have as much upper level energy, so I think these are just going to be strong storms, but scattered thunderstorms, and then just kind of hit and miss throughout the day, anytime during the day on Sunday as we get showers and thunderstorms. So if you want to get outside this weekend, the better chance to do it is going to be on Saturday, meaning a drier day. 84 for a high tomorrow, 78 by noon, 81 by 4 p.m. This system finally slowly pushes east. Still, we're going to have showers and thunderstorms on Monday, and then most of this is going to work out of here by Tuesday and a little bit drier for the middle of next week. We still have rain chances just about each and every day. 84 tomorrow, 83 on Sunday, 78 on Monday. Just a random shower Tuesday or Wednesday, so most of us dry. Rain chances back up again late Thursday and Friday, and then cooling down actually by next weekend.
Need some more rain.
We do.
Even if it's scattered, even if it's just occasional, we'll take what we can get.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, Doug. Take a look at Oklahoma's new state record big head carp. Brian Baker with spoonbill records reeled in this monster, weighing in at 118 pounds, 3 ounces. He caught it in Grand Lake in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Big head carp are an invasive species, and their eating habits compete directly with some more desirable native fish, such as paddlefish and bigmouth buffalo. That's why the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation says if you catch any of these, they'd like to know about it, and you should not return it to the water. That is exactly the size of fish are that I don't get in the boat.
Yeah, that seems like it could put some food away, for sure.
Oh yes, it looks like it could swallow the fisherman, pretty much. Jacob here now with sports. A big day for Fort Scott High School baseball.
Yeah, the Tigers have a chance to clinch the outright SEK championship against Chanute. We're going to talk about that. And Missouri Southern softball aims to move on to play for a regional title. We'll have those highlights and more next. The Missouri Southern softball team won their regional opener last night, beating Minnesota Duluth 3-2 in walk-off fashion. This afternoon, the Lions are right back on the field in round 2, facing Southern Arkansas. The winner of this one advances to play in the regional championship round tomorrow morning. Top of the first inning, Kara Amos gets Moso started with a big swing to left, clears the fence for the 2-run jack. Lions on top early. Now bottom half, Southern Arkansas responds. Jackson Dyson hammers it opposite field. That gets over the fence for the solo homer. Cuts the Lions lead to 2-1. Same score in the 5th. More long ball action from the Mule Riders. Reagan Dillon high and deep to left. Another solo shot. That ties the game up at 2. It stayed that way until the 7th. Southern Arkansas has 2 on, 1 out. All they need is a base hit here to win it, but Gracie King got all selfish here, hammers this one up and out. 3-run walk-off homer for King. The Lions failed to score a run after the first inning, fall in this one 5-2.
It's a struggle right now offensively. It's not for lack of effort, not for lack of going at it. But right now we're trying to string some hits together, and it's just not going our way right now. The pitchers, they did their job in the circle, defensively did their job. They just had the clutch hit, and we couldn't come away with it.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions are both still alive in the MIAA Baseball Conference Tournament, but only barely. Pitt State lost last night to Central Missouri, and Missouri Southern fell to Northeastern State earlier today. So the two rivals actually face each other this afternoon in an elimination game in Warrensburg. In that one, Southern scores 4 in the top of the ninth, going on to win 6-2. Tregan Parker goes 3 for 5 with a triple and a pair of RBIs. Drew Davis 2 for 3 with a home run for the Lions. Well, tonight is the final night of the SEK baseball regular season, and we finish with a big one. The Fort Scott Tigers host the Chanute Blue Comets, and this game decides a league champion. If Fort Scott wins, they are outright SEK champs. If Chanute wins, they share the title with Fort Scott and Pittsburgh. As Chanute gets things started early, top of the first, Lars Custer rips it to right, ricochets off the wall. Rhett Smith scores RBI double, gives the Blue Comets a 1-0 lead. Move ahead now, bottom of the fifth, tied 1-1. Big play here. Chaden Clayton pops the bunt up. Catcher Brian Jacket, great awareness, catches it for the out. Then the throw to third, double play. Chanute out of the inning. Now to the bottom of the sixth. Still tied, Lennox Van comes through clutch. RBI single out to left with the bases loaded. Gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead. Then top of the seventh, last chance for Chanute. Fort Scott, though, gets the force out at second, and that is the ball game. Fort Scott wins a tight battle over Chanute 2-1. The Tigers are outright SEK Conference champions. So congratulations to Fort Scott. And back to Missouri Southern softball. They lost, but they're not out of it. They're going to face elimination tonight at 7:30. So we'll have the latest on that game right here tonight at 10.
We wish them well. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The mayor of Kansas City says his city is now a sanctuary for the transgender community. Plus, why a senator is blocking hundreds of military promotions. And just in time for Mother's Day, some behavioral health experts weigh in on whether it's true that moms really do have a favorite child. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Some of our western areas getting a bit of rain, more rain ahead possibly for more of us.
Scattered thunderstorms continue this evening. Some of these strong to severe thunderstorm watch out until 11 p.m. Then these kind of work east later on tonight. Most of tomorrow's dry, but tomorrow night we get some additional scattered thunderstorms.
Final sports notes.
Rogers State softball and Minnesota Duluth are on the field right now in Joplin. The winner of that one plays Missouri Southern at 7:30 in an elimination game. We'll have the latest from that tonight at 10.
Very good. We're going to leave you with more video from the Osho's Paint the Hill tradition. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.